Hello travelers, Boardman21 here, and today's build will be a Bladedancer rogue, which is going to be, if not the tankiest, it'll be one of the tankiest builds that you can play. There is so much damage reduction on this Bladedancer that it's ridiculous. First, you're going to have the Wings of Argentus, which is going to give you 40% less damage taken while you're moving. Then you will have the passive Evasion, which gives you another 25% damage taken reduced while moving. So you're at 65% damage reduction while moving. Of course, those are multiplicative together, so it's not quite that much. And then you have with Dancing Strikes, which will allow you to always be moving along with Shift. You'll have the arena, and while you're in the arena, you will take 20% less damage. Now, that's while you're inside the arena. You don't have to be moving for that one. Then we'll have 100% glancing blow. You'll have 100% critical strike avoidance. You're going to have your 80 to 85% dodge, which means it's just a crazy high amount of dodge. You'll have your 5,000 armor, so you'll have your 60% damage reduction through armor, and you'll have all of your resistances capped. Now with that 100% glancing blow, you will also gain over 40 health every time that you get hit, because of the fact that you have 100% glancing blow and you gain health on glancing blow. You will also have capped endurance with a threshold of over 500, which means that your EHP total for this character is just over 100,000 effective health points. Now, the dots will still kill you, so just stay out of them, which is easy enough to do with how often you can shift and dance. And you're still going to do really good damage because Dancing Strikes gives you a huge amount of crit multi, and then you'll have your Shadows and Shadow Cascade to finish mobs off. Alright, let's go ahead and get into the skills. For skills, I'm running Dancing Strikes, Shift, Shurikens, Smoke Bomb, and Shadow Cascade. For Dancing Strikes, we have 22 points in Dancing Strikes, so you will have to get 2 points. That will come on Relic, so make sure that you get tier 5 on that first. However, if you don't get the 2 points, it's not that much. You'll just lose some damage or some damage reduction, or perhaps not proc a shadow as much. You can do this easily with level 20. You'll just lose a little bit of something along the way, but it is something you can aim for towards endgame. Now, I have 2 points in Cutting Corners, 2 points in Sophisticated Stabs, and 1 point in Shadow Steps, so that every second strike that you do will create a shadow. Now, the reason that this is important is because once you've created that shadow, when you shift or when you manually use Shadow Cascade, that shadow will use Shadow Cascade and it's going to really boost your damage. As you know, Shadow Cascade and shadows can do a lot of damage. We have 4 points in Rhythm. This means that every time you do a dance, you're going to gain a stack of Rhythm, and Rhythm gives you increased global damage. It's also going to give you, with 1 point in Elegance, 10% more dodge rating per stack, and with 2 points in Art of Blades, 20% more global critical strike multiplier per stack. Right now we have 4 points, so you can get up to 8 stacks, which means you can get 160% more critical strike multiplier, which makes your shadows hit really hard, especially since we aren't wearing the weapons to get your critical strike multiplier, which they removed in the weapons of choice passive. Now you can get it here instead while getting the glancing blow for dual wielding swords. We have 1 point in Windmill Ballot, so there's a 30% chance that you will throw a Shuriken. 1 point in Quick Step for a 25% chance with every dance that you'll gain some haste, so you can dance faster. You won't actually dance faster, you can just move faster. The cooldown will still stay the same. 1 point in Eluding Steps for the dodge rating on dance. 1 point in Nimble for more dodge rating per dex on your dance. 2 points in Underdog for more damage versus rare and bosses, and 4 points for Graceful Arena, so that every third strike creates a fighting arena for 4 seconds, which you can have 100% uptime on. This will increase your damage by 100% and reduce the damage you take by 20%. For Shift, we have Shift proccing Shurikens, so that Shurikens can still give us the additional armor. You'll get more armor per Shuriken that you have. It's also going to give us mana, it's going to give us dodge, it's going to give us haste, it's going to create a shadow, and it's going to use Shadow Cascade for us. So it's really nice when you stack up some shadows. You just shift and boom, all the shadows will use Shadow Cascade. We have 2 points in Shadow Recuperation for some healing, 5 points in Sleight of Hand for 5 Shurikens thrown, 4 points in Swift Recovery for mana gained on use of it, so you get your mana back, Shadow Slip so you're invulnerable while shifting, 3 points in Elusive for dodge rating per point of dex that you have, 3 points in momentum. By the way, when you use this on this build, you're going to jump up to almost 30,000 dodge. 3 points in momentum, so you gain haste for 1.5 seconds after shifting. 1 point in lasting presence, so you create a shadow after shifting, and 1 point in dancing shadows, so that all of your shadows will use Shadow Cascade after your shift. For Shurikens, we have this set up to pierce, to spin around us, and to give us dodge. It also does a lot of armor shred for us. We have 3 points in Alacrity for the attack speed, 4 points in Ethereal Blades for that pierce chance. This is so that when they're spinning around you, they won't just hit an enemy and disappear. You'll have 100% uptime of them. 4 points in Abrasive Arsenal so that it has 200% physical res shred and poison res shred chance. 1 point in Thin Shurikens for additional Shurikens and additional mana cost. 1 point in Blade Shield, so the Shurikens are now cast around you and will continue to spin for 3 seconds. 3 points in Bladed Armor, so that you get 30% armor per Shuriken you have spinning around you. And 4 points in Floating Blades to increase that duration by 60%, which pushes it at just over 4.5 seconds of blades spinning around you. For Smoke Bomb, we have Smoke Bomb set up to give us our Dust Shroud, so that we'll get more dodge rating and more armor. We also get shadows created, we get Leech. So we have 1 point in Shrouded in Darkness. This gives you the Dust Shroud each second, so that you can have more Glancing Glow, more dodge rating. 4 points in Rapid Concealment for their frequency to be doubled. 1 point in Thick Smoke, 1 point in Eroding Fumes, 2 points in Lingering Fumes, 1 point in Generosity. 3 points in Smoke Blades, so you have more melee damage. 3 points in Blood Bandit, so you have more melee leech. And 4 points in Umbral Assault, so that you make a shadow every second, so while it's active, if you can get this active around a boss, every time that you shift and it's making shadows, it's just that much more damage that you'll do. And then for Shadow Cascade, this is going to be your most damaging skill. We have 4 points in Shadow Torrent, 1 point in Battle Trance, 1 point in Crushing Darkness, 1 point in Flow State, 4 points in Rapid Expanse, 2 points in Precision, 2 points in Carnage, 2 points in Gloomstalker, 2 points in Fight in the Shadows, and 1 point in Onslaught. Most of that so that you can get your mana back, and so that you can have a chance to create a shadow on kill, so when you use it again you can get even more mana back. For passives, I have 43 points in the Rogue base class, with 8 points in Steady Hand, 8 points in Guile, 1 point in Twin Blade, 5 points in Evasion, 5 points in Agility, 3 points in Duelist, 5 points in Dodge and Parry, and 8 points in Thief Guard. I have 0 points in the Marksman and 69 points in the Bladedancer, haha, 8 points in Cloak of the Shadows, 1 point in Shroud of Dusk, 8 points in Once, 6 points in Sky Synthesis, 5 points in Veil of the Night, 6 points in Asuvan's Pact, 5 points in Perfection, 5 points in Confidence, 5 points in Blood Dance, 1 point in Flash of Steel, 8 points in Weapons of Choice. This is where you get 40% of your Glancing Blow. 1 point in Critical Eye, 5 points in All In, and 5 points in Shadow Master. For the items and idols, so the main idols you want are increased damage per active shadow with Shadow Cascade and health gained on dodge. You'll be dodging a lot, so this will give you a lot of health back. Also, the increased damage per active shadow will give you a lot of bonus damage. And then we have some increased critical strike chance and elemental resist, or you can do increased health with increased elemental resist. Both of those are going to help, but this is where you get a lot of your elemental resist, so you don't have to put it on the gear. Between this and your gold rings and your boots with the implicit on the gold amulet, you're going to have all the elemental resist that you need. We are dual wielding deicide swords. These come with a huge amount of melee physical damage. With them we have added physical damage, melee critical strike chance, increased dodge rating, and chance to apply frailty on hit. And I have the exact same stats except for frailty. We have chill on the offhand. The unique that we're wearing is the Wings of Argentus. You get this from the God Hunter Argentus on the Empowered timeline. You'll have to defeat him a few times as it is only a 10% drop, but this gives you 40% less damage taken while moving and +1 to all fire and cold melee skills, which we're not using either of those in this build. However, if you wanted, you could throw in like Cinder Strike melee and get a +1 level to it for free. However, we're not doing that here. We're strictly just building this for as most damage reduction as you can get. Then we have the Desert Mask. This comes with increased cooldown recovery speed so you can dance faster. It comes with health on Glancing Blow, necrotic, and physical resistance. We're wearing a gold amulet for the fire and lightning resistance. When you team this up with the Heoborean boots that have cold resistance, you can get over half of your elemental resistances just from the implicits on 2 items. We have physical penetration, increased physical damage, dodge rating, and increased dodge rating. Then we have 2 gold rings. The right gold ring has Dex, Mana Regen, Necrotic Resistance, and Critical Strike Avoidance. The left ring has Dex, Critical Strike Chance, Critical Strike Avoidance, and a Physical Resistance. For the bronze belt, we have physical damage, dodge rating for 4 seconds on potion use, increased dodge rating, and flat dodge rating. We have the Crusader gauntlets for that void resistance and armor. We have Dex, Mana Regen, void resistance, and flat armor. The Heoborean boots with Dex, increased movement speed, critical strike avoidance, and dodge rating. And then our antidote vial for that poison resist and increased leech rate. We also have +2 to dancing strikes, Dex, endurance, and endurance threshold on this as well. For our character sheet, as you can see, we are capped in resistances. Well, okay, we're missing 1% for necrotic, but you might get a slightly better roll at your necrotic resistance than I did, and you will be capped. And then just sitting in place with nothing going on, we have 16% damage reduction with armor, 63% dodge chance, we have 57% endurance, which is almost capped, with a 512 endurance threshold, 100% glancing blow, and just standing in place, a 71% chance for glancing blow. So how you're going to this, the dust shrouds that give you the glancing blow, you can get that a few ways. You can have a chance to have it whenever you get hit, you have a chance to get a stack whenever you do a melee attack, and you get it every half second while you have Smoke Bomb active. So if I just activate Smoke Bomb here and have Smoke Bomb going, we're going to get over 100% glancing blow, which is great. You're also going to get more dodging at that point. While you're in Smoke Bomb, you also get above 70% dodge. Then there's also when you shift. When you shift, you're going to have that 84% dodge for a second. And then, of course, you'll have your Shurikens, which is going to give you that armor. You'll notice our armor jumps up to 27%, just like that. And then when you team the two together and you have both of them going, that's when your stats really start to go. And then you start doing attacks and you start dancing. You can see our armor has already jumped up. You're getting those perfect stacks, which give you that added base. You're going to have Smoke Bomb going, then you throw in a shift, and boom, there's where you have over 30,000 dodge. You're getting all of that armor. You have your 100% glancing blow going on. Like, you just have all of it going for you, and you are a tanky boy. You can sit in Lagan's beam, you can face tank all the bosses, you can do all the empowered timelines. I didn't push it in the arena, but I'm sure you can do at least a couple hundred waves. There's no doubt in my mind, especially since you're a movement build and you can move out of things relatively easily. The only thing that's going to kill you is standing in dots. But for the skill rotation, obviously I put Smoke Bomb on autocast. You can put Shift on autocast if you want. I like to manually use it in this particular build just so that I can dance around, and then whenever I see that I got the shadows around the target, that's when I'll shift and boom. You can see how much damage you're doing. Shift obviously is going to do the Shadow Cascade, which is where a lot of your damage will come from. You can still do 50k crits with this pretty easily. You can get even higher when you get all of your stacks of, as long as you're hitting the target, getting all of your stacks of rhythm and perfection up. And when you do that, you can do even more damage. You can see we're getting some 70k crits. I think I was getting up to 100k a little bit ago when I was testing it. But either way, it does decent damage as well. So not only is it a super tank, it does a lot more damage than the Paladin Regifter does. Is it as tanky? That's up to you to decide. As long as you're moving, I believe it's tankier. The health regeneration is a lot lower because you're depending on either dodging for health or getting hit for the health. You do have some leech, but then again you have to hit a target, and you're not really trying to stay in the melee range as you're constantly dancing and moving around. But I would put it ahead of the Regifter in terms of being able to be a little bit more survivable, especially since you can actually just stand in Lagan's beam without doing anything. You can do that with the Paladin, but he does depend on a little bit of leech as well. However, it'll be up for you to decide. If the comments below, if you build both of these and try them out, tell me which one you think was tankier. Alright, let's get into some gameplay.